What's up, guys? It's your boy James, aka Six8Jay. Super excited today as I'm joined by my little brother Edo Farina. Right now, he's making a couple tweaks to his camera and what have you. It's Saturday, and it's 10 a.m. Normally, we go live at 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, but we went a little early today as I have several appointments. I actually had a conference call here at 9 o'clock. I've got this stream, and then I've got some people coming over talking crypto and more. So really, really excited about that. But today is Saturday. I'm excited, and we've got an interesting topic today, which is, will XRP moon? And if so, when? We're going to talk about that. It's one of those subjects that a lot of people don't like discussing. They try to stay away from it. Again, this is not financial advice. I am not a financial advisor. For those of you guys who follow me, make sure you go over. And if you don't follow me, let me actually put this up real quick. Go over to my Crypto4Life channel. You can see it right here. Crypto4Life with your boy James, aka Six8Jay. We've got some incredible interviews, guys. We've been getting so much attention from the interviews that we've been doing. It's just been so amazing. I'm so fortunate, so humbled by that. We just had Ladies Night last night that was just on fire. We had Molly Elmore on a day ago. We had it was called Hanging with the Fellas 2 days ago. 4 days ago, we had Jimmy Valley on. A little bit before that, we had Rob Cunningham. I mean, just so many phenomenal interviews, from Lewis Jackson to Patrick Riley to Zach Rector to my brother Edo Farina Versan and many others, guys. So we've been doing something, and we've got some incredible interviews coming up. Monday, I've got Dave, XRP Lion, on Monday. Tuesday, I got AJ, formerly and currently with Ben Armstrong, which is BitBoy. I believe he's getting his channel back. So AJ will be here live on Tuesday. Wednesday, I've got no other than Shannon Thorpe on. And all those times are pretty consistent at 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Make sure you guys tune in. And then I got a confirmation from a legend in the game. I was telling Edo how excited I'm about it. From a legend in the game. He made a comment on one of my my ex posts that actually went out, and they've been being shared by DAI, a digital asset investor. And so Bearable Bull actually made a comment on one of my posts that was shared by digital asset investor. I told him I appreciate him. Thank you very much. Told him I'd like to connect with him. He opened up his messaging, which he normally does not do. Guess what? Well, we're going to have him on the live. So I've already got a time. I've already got a date set, and I'll be putting that thumbnail together. Bearable Bull right here, Crypto4Life. I'm super excited. And many other guests that are coming on. Matter of fact, you can actually catch Molly Elmore again next Friday on Ladies Night. We're going to have an incredible lineup. So I'm really excited about that. But besides that, I see my brother Edo is ready. Edo, are you there?
Yeah, I was here sharing some links for people interested to join our live conversation. So thank you everyone for joining us. James, you have been looking at tremendous success in the XRP community. I see you everywhere, from digital asset investor to interviews with literally everyone in the community. So thank you for everything you are doing, brother.
You know, I'm inspired, and one of the things that inspires me, Edo, is really the things that you and I started doing. Let me take this jacket off, a little hot, but you know, we've got the standard in which myself, you, and Versan, we try to go on every week, and if I don't make it, you guys continue to do that. But we're a brotherhood, and we're really passionate about crypto, and we're passionate about you know, utility tokens like XRP, XLM, XDC, you know, we're able to you know, share that with our members, and we formed like I said, a great relationship. I'm hoping, and I think you're about 90% still to come to Las Vegas. I know a lot of people are looking forward to meeting you. If you do come, you're supposed to be staying here with us. So I'm excited about that. I'm excited about the actual event itself. And then, you know, I had, what's his, I'm thinking his name right now, Brad Kimes with Digital Perspectives, reach out to me and told me how much he appreciated me in one of my post that DAI had shared. And then, you know, he messaged me on another post or tagged me, and then he actually tagged me. He actually DM'd me directly, and I sent him my cell phone number. So we're supposed to be connecting and talking, and he said he wants to know who I am and my story. So just so many amazing things going on right now. I just can't explain how excited and humble I am to be around some of the most brilliant minds in crypto, including yours.
Yeah, that's an exciting journey. And for those who are watching us, you might be wondering what we are going to be talking about. So me and James had a conversation just a few minutes before this live streaming, and we said, so why don't we go a bit more how must I explain this? Like relax today. It's Saturday, so we're not keeping it so serious today. Not talking about so much financial data, information, numbers. That's very exhausting sometimes. I know it's important to be technical, but sometimes I think also we are human beings and we also want to have some fun and have some speculation. So, James, why don't you go ahead and give a small glimpse of what we're going to be covering on this live streaming today so people actually know what they're going to be hearing about?
Yeah, I think one of the things that Edo and I talked about is, you know, a lot of times to be young, be a younger guy, and I call him my little brother. Edo is extremely brilliant. So is Versan, and these guys, you know, sometimes cover things that are no. They often cover things that are very needed. But I told when me and Edo was talking, I said, you know, let's talk to the group in a way that we would normally not talk to them. Just have some fun. You know, sometimes when we talk, we can come across as really intelligent, which I think we all are on our own levels, right? But then let's just have some fun with the price of XRP. Where could it go? What's the potential? It's the things that everyone tries to avoid, but I think it's one of the biggest questions out there. Edo, what do you think?
Well, first, I want to give you back the question, James. Sorry for that, but I want to ask you this. What is your first target? When you actually plan to first take some profits? I think a lot of people wonder, when is the time, you know? Do you have a first target? I have mine. I will share after you, brother.
I think for me, when I started acquiring XRP, I went at it with a mindset of thinking about let me say this. There's assets in this space that you might jump in, and I'm not going to name a coin. I'm not going to name a meme coin, but let's just say there was a meme coin called Shikaka. I just don't want to offend anyone, so I just make up a silly name called Shikaka coin. And if I got Shikaka coin, I might actually get into Shikaka coin just to get a quick pump and then get my money right out. And there's some people, like I love the story of Chris and Molly over at Fruition Productions, because that's how they created their wealth. Is they jumped into Doge and then it blew up, and then they jumped into Shiba and then it tripled up, and then they finally got into real world assets. I mean, like actually great utility coins, and like XRP is one of the big ones. And so I did the same thing, Edo. I jumped into Shiba, I jumped into all these different projects. I think for me, when I got into XRP, I realized what I was holding. You know, when I was first introduced to Bitcoin, you know, I wasn't able to get it. I'm sorry. I wasn't able to get it at a price where it was, you know, sub $1 like XRP. And so, you know, I think a lot of us always think to ourselves, where was I at in life at that time? Did I have $1,000? Did I have $100 at that time? Of course I did. I was a business owner. So when I looked at XRP and I understood what it was created for, and I looked at some of the price predictions out there created by, let's say, Ripple, right, which was like for it to operate the way it should, $10,000, and then you start seeing things that you're reading and understanding the utility and the institutional adoption. At that point, when I started acquiring my XRP, Edo, and I was dollar cost averaging to a short-term bag, a mid-sized bag, and a long-term bag. And what I mean by that is my long-term bag, I'll never touch. And I don't mean never touch, meaning that at least no time soon. My short-term bag, there's small profit or small where I take profit areas. And I think for me, that starts at about $10. And that's not a big bag. I mean, but again, you have to understand where my position's at. So I'm sorry, Edo, somebody is very adamant about calling me right now. Let me turn my phone off here. And so, you know, so funny. I don't know if you've ever been where you've been at the house or you're doing something and no one calls you. And then as soon as you go live, it seems like you're the most important person in the world. Like I'm running for president or something. I don't understand it. Okay. Anyways, but
Brad Garling House calling you.
Yeah. Brad saying, James, I want to come on. Like, dang it, I just missed Brad. No, let me stop. I'm not that big yet. So the point I'm trying to make is that so $10 is a small bag that I've already had in place back when I was buying it at 17 cents. So people need to understand that. This is not something like, oh my God, $10, are you crazy? No, back when I was buying it at like, 17, 15 cents, that's where that came from. And then my next target is again, these are small, I would say take profit levels is 25, 50, and 100. And after that, I won't touch it again until about 1,000. If that makes sense. But you're talking about, let me just give an example. So the way that I bought my XRP, it would be, let's say 100,000 that I take off the table at $10. 100,000 that I take off at 20, 100,000 at 50, 100,000, 100, and then I'll save that last million until it hits about $1,000. Does that make sense?
I think it's a fair strategy. You know, I have a quite similar strategy, I can say. I'm not thinking to touch any position before $10. So I do have this psychological holds that $10 is the minimum that I'm willing to take profit. So what I have done myself is I have divided my XRP bag. So I have 90% which is in cold wallets. So I actually also diversify even in which cold wallets I am holding. I want to be very secure. I don't want to put all of my eggs in the same basket.
Right.
For this reason, so I just diversify. I will not name them, but I have around 5 to 6 wallets where I actually hold my XRP. Apart of that, then I have the 10% bag, which I leave on exchanges. So this is a bag where it's not a financial advice, but you can, for example, set some sell orders in case the price goes to your target. So for some people, it might be $2, or some people, it might be $5. It depends. I think it's very particular. I think if some people are in need for money, that makes sense that they might have some sell orders to take profits before the time. But reminding yourself that you should not, in my opinion, sell your entire bag. I think that would be the most ludicrous decision to make. I think a lot of people would regret this decision. So I think it's very conservative to say that at some point we're going to see XRP at $10. If we just look back 2018, when we actually hit the all-time high 384, which happened to happen in some Korean exchanges, but let's say we consolidated it well above $253. So I think that was speculation. So there was not a lot of utility associated to XRP price back there, but that shows a bit of the potential that XRP has, and I think that we're going to make at least a 3x from the all-time high. I would say it's very conservative, given the amount of financial institutions that are actually adopting XRP as a core technology. We're talking here about helping sovereign states to build their CBDCs. We're talking about ODL corridors on BRICS. Every BRICS country has some connection with Ripple or XRP. So I think a 3x is a very conservative prediction for XRP from the all-time high that would bring us above $10. And that's why I like to think of $10 as the first stage where I would take profits. Now, I remind you that I made some predictions on my X, and I want also to hear your opinion on that some people are going to sell all their bags on the way up, thinking that there will be a retracement. So imagine someone sells 80% of their XRP at $3, 20% at $5, and then they just liquidated the entire bag in the hope, because we have somehow been trained, we have been like conditioned nowadays that we see XRP chart going up, we already expected them, right? I think so many times, we had the situation where we were going above 55, 60 cents, and then the price retraced all back. It happened over and over again. It seems to be that there is some mechanism that is suppressing the XRP price. So we are kind of conditioned to think there will be a retracement. So I think it's very dangerous because at some point there might be no retracement. At some point they will flip the switch and the price will just go up, and the price will continue to go up. And we're going to see $2, $3, $5. And we know that XRP and XLM, they are quite different from the other currencies. When they move very fast. It's quite, you can see XRP go up 200% in a couple of hours. We have seen that many times in 2018, then again in 2021, after XRP actually dumped all the way because of the SEC lawsuit. Then a couple of months later, we were trading at $1.80 or $2 again. So people are not used for XRP price to be at high prices. And that's when they're going to make mistakes. How do you see that, James?
No, I agree with you. So there's several things that you said in there. And by the way, we're not even 15 minutes into this, and we're over 800 live viewers. So I think this is one of the fastest, as far as viewers coming on board. I think this is a very interesting topic. So there are several things that you said. I want to address all of them. And we will be playing a video by my buddy, our friend, Lewis Jackson, who's been on our Crypto4Life show, who actually breaks down why he thinks it could reach 7,000. And he actually shares a formula that he actually writes out. But before we get into that, let me talk about a few things. Number one is, I think you're absolutely right. I think, you know, a $10 XRP, you know, why aren't we there yet? You know, I know it sounds like, are we there yet? But the point I'm making is that I think a lot of that is because of suppression, obviously the lawsuit. We could say regulatory clarity, but there's not a lot of regulatory clarity for a lot of digital assets. I just think it's this lawsuit itself. I think that if we can get past this, you know, ordeal that we're dealing with right now with the SEC, maybe that comes in form of settlement, which now seems, and I think this is purposely done, a little out of reach right now because of the ridiculous amount of money that they're asking, which is $2 billion. $2 billion. And me and you're going to talk about that in just a second. But I think that was more about killing people's hope and not letting people get all bullish, because a lot of us were bullish. I mean, we were still very bullish, but we saw the 3-0, you know, strike against the SEC, where Ripple continuously is victorious, starting back with, you know, Judge Annalisa Torres' decision back on July 13th, 2023, and has been a continuous ongoing benefit in Ripple's direction. So a lot of us just had that hope of, okay, hey, it's coming to an end. You know, you look at the Promatic sales, what we were like 700 something million. Maybe they get, you know, part of that, maybe they get all of that, but all of a sudden they shoot it to $2 billion, which makes it seem way out of reach. And then it starts all this FUD in the community. Well, if Ripple didn't sell this, and Ripple didn't sell coins, and Ripple wasn't, you know, all this ridiculous nonsense. And for people who are weak-handed or weak-minded, or maybe they're not educated on what Ripple and XRP truly is or what it was created for, yes, they're getting shaken out. They're starting to fight amongst the community. There's been hiccups with the AMM. And so it's like, oh my God, you know, this is, and it's like, look, guys, if I could tell you all the issues they had with Bitcoin in the beginning, if I could tell you, for those of you guys that weren't around long-term, how Bitcoin was considered a scam coin, it was dark web money, and it was used for criminal activity and all this junk until it wasn't. You guys hear that that phrase right there? Until it wasn't. And so right now you've got a lot of people that are excited, Bitcoin ETFs, all these things. But again, that's the mainstream adoption. Now, what we're talking about with XRP is retail versus institutional adoption. Retail, I think in retail, we can see a $10 XRP, just retail. And so you brought up a very good point when we did a video, and you actually shared that, and I want to share that with everyone, and then I'll continue on from there. And it's something that you posted. It kind of, in my opinion, somewhat went viral, and it was a post when we were talking about XRP's potential and the fact that how people can actually miss it. So I want to play that real quick, and then we'll come back and discuss our thoughts.
$10 XRP will change most people's lives, and I agree with that wholeheartedly. But I also agree it's going to probably be one of the biggest regrets that people made, because again, if Valhil Capital, who said a possibility of a $25,000 to $35,000 XRP by 2030, let's say they're 10% right, that's $2,500 to $3,500. Let's say they're 1% right, that's $250 to $350. Okay, screw them, forget that. I mean, screw them, but forget that analogy. Let's go with Ripple itself. XRP, in order to work the way it has to globally, has to be at least $10,000. Okay, let's say they're 10% right. That's $1,000. Okay, let's say they're 1% right. That's $100. So my whole thing is, I think a lot of people are going to miss the 1% potential at $5 or $10, maybe $20. I think that's where people just have to have a solid plan, because, I mean, you know, $10 million isn't what it used to be back in the day. You know, and again, that's not financial advice. I'm just saying people have to be smart. Everyone's going to have different levels. A $10 XRP changes a lot of people's lives. $100,000 changes a lot. So I'm not trying to dismiss that. All I'm saying is you should have levels of where you're cashing out. You have strategic levels of where you're cashing out, and I wouldn't go all out at a certain dollar. Again, that's not financial advice, but man, I don't know what's greater, to get $10 or to live with a life full of regretment if it potentially hits 100 or 1,000 or 10,000 or anything else that they're saying. It'd be crazy. Between all of us here, the stocks of Pepto-Bismol are going to go up, because you're going to have a lot of sick people that missed the boat. $10.
So obviously that ended with a low comment, but you guys get the point. So the point that I was making with that is, number one, is I believe just with XRP moving with the market, right? So Bitcoin goes up, it goes up. Bitcoin dips. When it dips, we dip, just like that. Okay, so you guys remember that song. But anyways, the point I'm trying to make is that I think as long as we're right in that roller coaster, if XRP sees 100,000, I'm sorry, if when Bitcoin sees 100,000, what do you think XRP is going to be at? What do you think Ethereum is going to be at? What do you think Solana is going to be at? So I think we'll break $1 in following what the rest of, you know, kind of like follow the leader. Remember that old game when we were kids? Follow the leader, wherever you know, that kind of thing. I think the comment I was trying to make is people will get excited because maybe they see XRP get back to $3, $4, $5. Now, for the people who got in late and they maybe caught the top and they've been down for a while, they're going to probably exit because they don't want to go on that road. It was a scary ride. Let's just say that way. They watch it go from $3 or something, all-time high, all the way back down to, sub 20 cents. And so that was very scary for a lot of people. So when you get on a ride, when you're a kid and it just scares you where you think you're going to die on that roller coaster, do you run back on and get it again? Some people do. Some people understand, hey, I'm going to be safe. It's going to be amazing. But most people won't get back on it again. So I just think that a lot of money will exit between that, let's say $5 at all new all-time high to $10 is what I was trying to say. The regretment is going to be, Edo, is during that process, there's going to be a lot of legal clarity. And by the way, shouts out to the over 1,100 as we approach 1,200 live viewers right now, only 20 minutes into this. So shouts out to everybody just tuned in, both on Edo's X, my X, and my YouTube. The point I'm trying to make is that people are going to be scrambling between $5 and $10. And then what happens is I don't think most people see 20 or 50 or 100. And the reason being because I look at everything in its entirety, right? You see Brad Garlinghouse. Does he look like someone that plays games? Does Ripple seem like a company that plays games to you? Is that why they spent $200 million to fight this? Is that why that when everyone was running after XRP, after Bitcoin crashed from 68 to 15, and everybody was firing, everybody was laying off, everybody was moving out the country, everybody was scrambling, and they just kept hiring, acquiring other major institutions, hiring some of the most brilliant minds and continuously expanding their business globally? No, they're not playing games. So when someone like that who's extremely credible, full of integrity, and he never sacrifices his integrity for growth, right? I'm going to give predictions. No, they just stay the course. And for me, the steady shit wins the game. It's almost like the turtle and the hare, the turtle and the hare, right? If you want fast, hey, you can go to Chicago Coin. But if you want long-term wealth, right? And then a lot of people get caught up. Well, look what they're going through. Okay, what did Amazon go through? Explain that to me. Did Amazon was almost faced with bankruptcy. They were in financial straits, but yet they had to go through all these fines and lawsuits, by the way, by who? SEC, right? And once they got past it, they became the juggernaut that they are. And who made a reference to Amazon? You don't think this guy's brilliant? Not only did he say flip the light switch, but he says Ripple today is where Amazon is today, meaning that when we were just thinking cross-border payments, that's back when Amazon was selling books. We're past that now. We're so much more than that. And that people have to understand we have to get through the hiccups to see it. So going back to the price, most people will scramble between $5 to $10. And then what happens is while they're scrambling, their faith will be shaken. The government will continuously do these ridiculous things. If you guys watch the interview with me and Molly Elmore the other day, where she said, it's a pay-to-play scenario. It's almost like the mob. If you want to play in this country called the United, I don't care what everyone else says XRP is global. I don't care. If you want to play in the United States, these United States of America, we're a mob over here. We're called American gangsters. You're going to pay to play here. And that's what that whole $2 billion, because, it's an old saying that I used to do when I used to own a car, my car lot. If you want 5,000, don't ask for 5,500. Ask for 7,900. Right. So if they want 700 million, ask for 2 billion. And then Ripple will come crawling back maybe and say, okay, we'll give you the 700 and something million in Prometic sales, whatever the case may be. So I just think when that happens and all this clarity is going on, then what happens is I think behind all those things that were happening behind closed doors, Edo, all those partnerships, all those financial institutions that have not said anything, that said, we're waiting for Ripple to not only be deemed not a security, they got that, but we want all this legal mumbo jumbo to stop. We want all this crap to stop. And once that happens, I think the Pandora box opens. I think all of a sudden you start seeing, it's funny how when we get little bits and pieces of things, we get excited. And when it's taken away, we turn against the company. Let me explain that, right? I think all the things that Ripple had put in place when we saw, partnerships with this company and that company and whatever else, and then those things had to be retraced back like, a money transfer company? Was it MoneyGram or Western Union, whatever it was? And those things had to be pulled back. Well, why were they pulled back? Because those companies were concerned, because they understand the level of corruption. They didn't want to be entangled in that web. And then you see people like my guest who's coming on Wednesday, Shannon Thorpe, right? She made some comments. And again, I'm very protective over that situation because it had nothing to do with her. What she said, I believe, was with everything that I am, because when you see who she is as a person, I think her statements were very valid. But how do you come back. That's like me and you talking about something positive, Edo, and says, well, guess what? We were in a meeting with Ripple, and we heard that they're going to be doing some things with some banks. And therefore, they're saying, a little birdie said that, hey, we could probably see a $300 to $500 XRP. All of a sudden, the SEC hears that. And what do gangsters and mobs do when they hear good information? They do everything they can do to stop it. And I think when all this is said and done, and we get to that place where we have legal clarity and and that Pandora box opens up, I think that's going to be the train has left the station comment that Rosie Rios said. Or I think that's when the flip of the light switch moment happens. And I think just like Bitcoin, and I don't mean to compare the two, I was having this conversation the other day. Why did people like Michael Saylor and other big time CEOs, why did they say they needed to see Bitcoin at 20,000 and maintain 20,000 before they buy it? Why did they do that? Why not buy it at $10? They saw it at $10. They saw it at $100, but they didn't have faith. Those who had faith, in regards to what me and you think personally Bitcoin is going to do, is irrelevant, right? The point and I'm not saying our opinion is irrelevant. I'm just saying that's not the topic of the show. The point I'm trying to make is they waited till $20,000 to start going all in. So if you look at Michael Saylor and Michael's strategy right now, their average price for Bitcoin is like what, $40,000 now? 38,000 or something like that. The point I'm trying to make is you're going to have a lot of institutions play the same damn game with XRP. They're going to get in and say, okay, we won't get in until it hits $1,000. And then the rest of the world is going to catch on like, oh my God, I could have got it. And it's going to be that I coulda, shoulda, woulda, whatever. And those who kept their faith and those who stayed the course and those who understood, because I think the reason that people don't get it is because they're not business smart, Edo. And I don't want to be facetious here, but I'm going to just say what it is. I've been in business 25 years on some of the biggest stages around the world. It's all documented. Award-winning speaker in what I've done. I'm not lucky. I'm not crazy. And it's just not coffee that has me this excited. It's because I understand what I hold. And what I hold is something that's going to change the world. Now, for me, understanding that, I understand the value of what this whole company and this whole opportunity represents. For people who are looking for microwavable results, they don't understand. If you go from VHS to Netflix, if you go from cabs to Uber, if you go from hotels to Airbnb, I get it. Okay, maybe you want something fast with that. But when you're talking about changing the way we transfer money globally, that's not an easy thing. It doesn't happen fast, but when it happens, oh my God. Could you imagine telling your grandkids or your great-grandkids you were a part of that? Or will you be the kind of person, because I think it's two sides of this coin. It's either the greatest story on planet Earth or the biggest regret of a lifetime. And I guess the question is where you want to be. It's not financial advice. Me and Edo are not financial advice. I'm just kicking facts. So when I sit up here and I get frustrated about people who don't get, and they think it's a joke with, Joe Katz and Brad Garlinghouse and Crystal, all these guys are just crazy. Really? Satoshi was crazy too? Was everybody crazy when you could get, Bitcoin, a Bitcoin for 50 cents or less than a penny? I mean, last time I checked, it's 70-something thousand now. Is it still a joke? I don't care what people think about it. Is it a joke? So regardless of your mindset, history is going to repeat itself with something that's even greater than Bitcoin. XRP, they're not even on the same page. The reason you think Bitcoin is greater than XRP is because of the damn price, not because of what it actually does. If you think that, you're crazy. Right, so people who were working at McDonald's last year, and all of a sudden they're a big time YouTuber, and they're telling you, "I'm a genius because I understand Bitcoin and crypto." Wait a minute, really? Do you understand business? Are you a shiller? Are you taking responsibility for the things that you say? See, people who understand business follow successful people, right? We all get it, and so I think that's really the narrative that people have to understand. If you're in this long term, know what you hold. People say it all the time: know what you hold, and I think that's what it really comes down to, Edo.
It's cliche, but it's true, know what you hold. And as someone very well says here in the comments, it's all show to get out the weekends. And I totally agree.
Absolutely.
How many people are actually giving up, especially the people who want to just get rich overnight. And I think that's a mistake. I think when you don't understand the technology, you think you are actually buying some meme coin that's going to make a 10x or a 20x.
I don't mean to cut you off, Edo, but it sounds like the SEC is coming after you for holding XRP.
Please stop. I raise my hands. Please don't take the cold wallets. They'll never find it anyways.
Exactly.
Even if they try. Anyways, I was saying, there is something that nobody's paying attention. So they are coming asking Ripple $2 billion, right? Yeah. The thing is, when they dropped this lawsuit in 2020, I made phone calls for many friends of mine, and I say, please get an XRP. Do your research. The SEC is coming after Ripple. There's a very specific reason. Actually, let me rephrase myself. When they dropped the SEC lawsuit, it's when I actually became 100% confident on XRP. There's a reason for that. So in order for XRP to be regulated, the SEC would have to actually stand by and do what they actually did. So
Absolutely.
Coming after XRP first, for me, was the greatest indicator that XRP is the chosen currency. XRP is set to run the financial system.
Yeah.
For that, it needs regulatory clarity. Hence the fact that when you look for Ripple board of directors, it actually looks a government agency. Versan came with a concept another day that Ripple is actually a military operation, and I don't doubt that either.
Yeah.
If you look for the board of directors, you have Rose Rio signing the $100 bill. You have people who are actually connected with the NSA. Don't even have to mention who they are.
Yeah.
So this actually makes you understand that the SEC now is going to come after a lot of cryptocurrencies out there.
Mm-hmm.
They're already coming after Ethereum. Last week, it was also mentioned Solana in a document from the SEC where a judge actually said, used Solana as an example of security. So we should expect the SEC to come after Solana as well.
Right.
All these meme coins that are actually happening on Solana, I don't think the SEC is going to close their eyes for that.
Yeah.
Now, the point I'm trying to make is how many companies actually have the resources to pay $1 billion fine or a $2 billion fine? That's the case for Ripple. Yes, Ripple do have the required funds to pay for this fine, even though it's a very high fine.
Right.
But if you look for other blockchain companies, other companies that are other cryptocurrencies out there, I can tell you 100%, 99.9% of them don't have the greatest financial researchers that Ripple has, meaning that those companies will not be able to fight against the SEC, and that comes all connected to what Brad Garlinghouse has said, that 99% of cryptocurrencies are going to disappear. So right in front of us, we have the greatest indicator that XRP is the chosen one. Why? Because the system is changing. It can't take that long. We are in the verge of a liquidity crisis that has already started. XRP provides liquidity. Hence why XRP, also Stellar, are I call them the guardians of the new financial system. So why they come first after Ripple? Well, because it takes years for the lawsuit to play out. We are almost 5 years on the SEC lawsuit. So they come after Ripple. XRP is now the first digital asset with regulatory clarity, and now they're going to come after the other players. That's why I'm so excited. That's why when actually they dropped the SEC lawsuit against Ripple, I had some cash sitting, and that's when I bought my largest XRP bags at 60. I was waiting for an entry point. I did the opposite of what 99% of people are doing. Everybody was in panic, selling their XRP. I went on and I went all in, basically. I had sold my apartment back in Portugal, and that's when I put the largest sums of capital on XRP. What do you think about that, James? Do you think the other companies also have the same researchers as Ripple to fight against the SEC?
No, not at all. And I remember your story. It's a brilliant story, and it really talks about your belief. But you weren't, you didn't go out there and sell your car or do the things that you did because you were buying lottery tickets. You did your research. You understood what it was. And so, no, I think you hit it on the nail on the head when you said a lot of companies won't be able to fight that fight. Matter of fact, if you go back and listen to what Gary Gensler said leading up to or right around the Judge Annalisa Torres decision, right around July 13th, 2023, he said just because Ripple is victorious, because remember they were trying to dismiss it like it wasn't really a win. It's like they also lost. It's a partial win. No, we actually won. We're not a security. And look, guys, we're not XRP maxis. We both hold a variety of coins. They're very diversified. But one of the things I always try to get across to people is I hate bullying. When I used to speak, I used to also speak at schools. I used to also speak for kids at the YMCA. I can't stand bullies. And I love what Molly Elmore said when she said one of the things that attracted her when she got into crypto is she was dealing with this company that told her to study all the digital assets in the top 20, but top 10, but whatever she does, don't pay attention to XRP. And she goes, what? She goes, because it's a banker. They told her it's a banker's coin. So after she looked at the other 9 assets, she went back and said, wait a minute, Why not XRP? So as she started digging, she realized that it was actually the biggest gem out of the 10 that were in the top 10. And so that's why she's passionate. That's how if you guys listen to her interview. The point I'm trying to make is that Gary Gensler made a comment during that time when Ripple had the victory, one of many, and he said that just because Ripple has clarity doesn't mean that everyone else is going to get a free pass. Everyone has to fight their own battle. And so if we are talking about a mob, okay, and again, this is just the analogy of a mob, the way that, and I'm going to show that clip with Molly. But if we are talking about a mob type situation, American gangsters that, they know exactly. I always said there's a few people that know exactly what XRP was created for, right? Us, the retail who are buying it, the institutions that are embracing it, right? Either in the public or behind closed doors that are getting ready for the big boom, the big, implementation of what XRP does, Ripple themselves, and guess what? The United States of America. They know exactly what it was created for. They understand it. They used it. They tested it, and they tried to control it. So if they can't control it, what do? You set this ridiculous amount of money. Like I said, if you really want, and it's funny because someone actually just put in here that someone made a comment. Let me see here. It says market unplugged. I'm not sure if that's like if that's some type of like a media outlet released an article today saying the settlement that the SEC wants, I guess, is 700 million. So, I mean, it would make sense. I don't know how true that is, but if you want 700 million, which is the whole entire what they brought up as far as the sales that Ripple did, then you ask for 2 billion, right? If you don't ask for 700 million and settle for 200 million. If you want the whole 700 million, what do you do, Edo? You ask for the whole, right? $2 billion. And I think that's what we're seeing. I think that's what is happening, right? And so, there is something that I want to play, Edo, that it was shared by DAI, and it's Molly talking about that same narrative. I don't think everybody saw it, but right now we're at 30-something minutes, and we're approaching 1,700 live people. So I want to make sure that people understand the narrative or the comment that she made regarding the SEC being what she described as a mob. So we're going to go right over to Digital Asset Investors YouTube, and he shares this clip with Molly.
Bombay doors.
All right, a couple of things. One, Gary Gensler has done us a service by having those MIT courses publicly available.
Yeah.
And in one of those courses, he said that if you want to move in to the banking world, the legacy banking system, the monopoly, you got to like pay up, like in the mob. You got to, pay the mob don of the other family if you want to enter into a new market. And so this is what the fine looks like to me, is they've conceded that XRP is going to be used, and they're like, we want our kickback, like in an organized crime. Now,
wow. And I'm not going to play any more than that. If you guys want to check it out, go to my video. But she said it right there, Edo. If you want to play, you've got to pay, just like the mob, just like a crime family, right? And so that right there went viral. That video that he shared, literally everyone's commenting and making it and sharing it. But that, I think there's so much truth to that, Edo. Your perception of what she said about the SEC being like a mob. If you want to play here in the United States, you're going to pay. And it's not just people think it's Ripple. They've done this with Amazon and so many other companies. Even Elon said, I don't know if you guys remember that tweet that Elon, he says, I was forced to settle in order to save my baby. I had no choice. I had to settle, even though I knew I was right, because I wanted to play the game. Go ahead, Edo.
Yeah, it's like what you said before this live stream. It's like a bribe, And sorry to say, I'm not from the United States, but for what I see, I don't think the government is just as it is for the public, but I see the US government as a corporation. They are actually there to make the maximum amount of money that they actually can. And that's a very sad reality. So I already shared with you in the first interview that we have done, actually, when you invited me to your channel, James. I actually told you that I am also training lawyer for a Portuguese law firm that is actually located in Portugal. And every month we hit a new all-time high, similar to what XRP is going to do in the future, but actually we hit all new all-time highs for American customers. And what comes to our understanding and what these people are sharing with us is that nobody wants to deal with the SEC. Why I'm mentioning this specific law firm, because we work with blockchain. It's actually a fintech that is aimed towards blockchain. So we have a lot of taxation. And what happens is that Americans are all coming to Europe, especially in countries like Estonia, Portugal, where it's tax-free for some profits. You can find ways as a private individual to actually go full tax-free on crypto, and nobody actually wants to deal with the SEC. Now,
Right.
I think that's very harmful for America,
Right.
because we know that America has dominated Web 2.0, especially with companies like Amazon, Uber, Airbnb. So all of these large companies that were located mostly in the Silicon Valley. And Europe has actually lost Web 2.0. You didn't have a lot of that happening in Europe. And now in this way, if the SEC keeps pushing with this narrative, what's going to happen is that founders, cryptocurrency founders, companies, they all going to move abroad. And it's not in the future. It's already happening. And actually, that means less taxes for the US. That means that Web 3.0 is actually happening, not in the United States, just like Web 2.0, but it's actually going for places like Dubai, Europe. And I think that's a shame. If I would be American, I would be ashamed to have an institution like the SEC, as you said, is like pay to play. I mean, that doesn't make any sense to me that they come after Ripple, which is a legit company. And only now they're coming after Ethereum, which we know had an IPO. Just to remind everyone, go do a research on the Ethereum gates. You have people like Digital Asset Investor who is putting great content about that on a daily basis. So I think everyone should be at least aware of what Ethereum has been doing behind the scenes. And that's why I say it's so shameful that the SEC first comes after Ripple and not after Ethereum.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right, and it's we're going to talk some price predictions, or not predictions on Iron, but we're going to talk about. I'm going to show a video where Lewis Jackson actually breaks down his formula for why he feels it could hit 7,000, and even maybe I think at one point it said 70,000. But before we get in that, and look, this is something I learned a long time ago. It's called SW next, and that is some will, some won't. So what next? You can't worry about what everybody else is going to do. That's one of the reasons that they talk about, like when you're in an airplane, put your oxygen mask on, basically do your own research, know what you hold, have a game plan for yourself before you start going out there trying to help other people. And then, it's funny because you're always going to have somebody that disagrees with XRP. You're going to have people that disagree with, Doge and Bitcoin and Ethereum, to each his own. At the end of the day, like when I see someone in the comments here saying delusional bag holders, that's okay, because it takes a lot of different types of people to make the world go around. Not everyone's going to be wealthy. Not everyone has the mindset to be wealthy. I always say the greatest thing about the crypto industry is that anybody can do it. And I always say the worst thing about the crypto industry is that anybody can do it. And so that's really because when you put value on something, when something's at a very low value, then anybody can do it, and therefore they don't see any value. But now when you look at now a $70,000, what happened when you could get Bitcoin for less than $1, less than 50 cents, less than a penny? But now that it's $70,000, now what you do is you make up an excuse. Oh, it's stupid. Oh, it's just, and look, I'm not saying it is it, or I'm not saying it's not. I'm definitely not comparing it to other assets. I think there's a lot more assets out there way better than Bitcoin in this overall use, right? We know that it's slow. We know this is not. Yeah, they call it digital gold, and that's a whole other segment. And I know how you feel about that, as I do on several levels. I might not like gold, but I hold it, right? So at the end of the day, to each his own. The point I'm trying to make, guys, is that you got to do what's best for you. You got to do what's best for your family, best for your situation. And at the end of the day, when all the smoke clears, like the guy who was calling Bitcoin a scam when it was maybe like a penny or maybe 10 cents or whatever, he has to live with the fact. Or the guy who bought all that, he spent all that Bitcoin on a pizza. Yeah, we call it National Pizza Day. Yeah, he comes and we know who he is. But if you don't think that guy is sick, and every time the Bitcoin date comes around that he has to be reminded of how sick he feels. I know another guy who cashed out Bitcoin to buy a home for like $800,000. And he did that back when Bitcoin was like, I don't know, like a few $100. So, I mean, how much Bitcoin did he hold in order to do that? How sick must he feel? So the point I'm trying to make, and this is a story that I heard, to each his own in that scenario. So what I want to do real quick, Edo, if you don't mind, I want to go over to my man Lewis Jackson, who actually breaks down and by the way, guys, shouts out to the now just under 2,000 people that are watching live after 40-something minutes. Shouts out to you guys. We appreciate, first of all, first and foremost, let me do this. Let me send some hellos to the people that are in group. Tiller, hello. Liz Herrera, hello, my friend. If that's even your real name, grow up, go stand in front of the mirror, evaluate your situation. We got Big Bro Tim, we got Crypto Navigator, we got the Frozen 06, we got ABZ, Michelle 511. We don't mind people giving opinions, but if you're ignorant, if you're stupid, if you're a troll, go find something else to do. You know, like go play around with a grenade or something, something that's going to bring some excitement to your life. Karma Carmichael's in the house. We got Liz Herrera, we got H Bus, we've got that one guy. We got Roger Metzger. Welcome, my friend. XRP Nelson, Edward Franslavsky. Did my best with that. And Karma Carmichael, thank you for all the amazing support and letting me know when people are sharing, like DAI sharing the information. I appreciate you in a major way, my brother. Shouts out to all you guys. We appreciate you guys. I know I do. I know Edo do. Edo does. And make sure you guys go over to our Crypto4Life channel and show your support. And also go over to Edo's page, which would be, if I can put it up right here, it's Edo Farina, or it should at Edward _Farina. And then you can also see he's he's the CEO of Alpha Husky Club. He's also he's head of social adoption over at XRPH. One of the up and coming projects have been on fire, and just has a brilliant mind. So make sure you guys support my brother in every way. Now, what I'm going to do is go over to Lewis Jackson and his price prediction of what he calls a price prediction between 7,000 and 70,000. I want you guys to listen up.
And I did the calculations and I figured out what the price would have to be for XRP for the burn rate to be the exact balance of the growth of the network. Right. So the first thing I thought we really had to understand here was the monthly transaction volume. I'm going to put that in here. Monthly transaction volume. We're going to actually, in the formula, refer to this as M. Now, I took a look on the internet just to see the volume, the daily volume on the
Much love to Rob Cunningham, by the way. Shouts out. Appreciate your support, brother.
XRP ledger as of today, the day of recording it, which is also the day this is coming out. And I found it was $969,698,115. That's just under $1 billion. Now, obviously, you have to times that by 30 to get the monthly amount, which actually brings us to $28,990,943,450 over the course of a month on the XRP ledger. Now, that's number one. Number two, we obviously have to look at the growth rate of the XRP ledger and XRP as a whole. Now, this is very difficult because sometimes it can go up 90% and it can go down. But if we just assume a 1% growth rate month on month, I've got no basis other than just pulling that out my butt, that 1% growth rate. But let's look at a growth rate like that. So that's a monthly.
I think 1% is more than fair.
Growth rate. And we're going to mark that by R in the formula. And so R in this instance equals 1% or 0.01. And that's essentially saying that if the XRP ledger was doing $1 billion of value in a month, next month it's going to do 1.1 billion. That's the assumption here. And I'm sorry about this handwriting, but I'm just excited. I also write like a 4-year-old. The next thing we need to look at is the transaction per second, the TPS. So that TPS we know for the XRP ledger is 1,500. And that's the maximum amount of transactions that XRPL can handle every second. So when we expand that out to a single day, well, just having calculated this, 86,400 seconds in a single day, meaning we can quite easily now create our transactions per day number. And then the fourth thing is the burn rate, right? So that the burn rate, and we're gonna mark that as B in the formula, and TPS is just going to be TPS in the formula as well. So if we look at the whole formula and we look at kind of price as the P here, so the price equals the monthly transaction volume times by the growth rate, and we divide that by 30 times the transactions per second times by 86,400. This is allowing us to calculate the transactions per month, and times that by the burn rate. And so let's go through this and fill the numbers in. So we've got the price equals 969,698,115 times by 1% divided by 30 times 1,500 times 86,400 times the burn rate, which is 0.00001. And when you run all of that, what you end up with per XRP, which is P, which we're trying to solve right here, is an XRP value of $7,482.24. And that's obviously an XRP price based on a 1% growth month on month. And with that growth of 1% month on month and the burn rate, in order to counterbalance the growth with the burn rate, it would have to be $7,482.24, right? So my mind was blown. I was like, okay, well, let's say it's not 1%. Let's say 1% growth is too low. What about all the way up to kind of, let's say 10%? I don't even know if it would go even any further than that. And I've got answers for you as well. So very quickly, I've just calculated exactly what XRP's price would be with different growth rates every month. So we have anywhere ranging from kind of a 1% growth rate every month all the way over to 10% growth rate every single month. And these are the different price points required in order to balance with the burn rate, the growth of the market as well. So anywhere from 7,482 all the way up to $74,822 would be required for XRP to be at a stable price to balance with the burn rate. Now, the price gets redonkulous when you start looking at the derivatives market. And imagine that the derivatives market is all on the XRP ledger. You start getting like in the billions of dollars for an XRP. No, I don't.
So guys, look, that's enough of that. I don't know about you guys, but that is, and again, it's an assessment predicated off of certain numbers and certain evaluations. And you know, could it be 1%? Could it be less than 1%? Could it be more than 1%? It doesn't matter. The bottom line is facts are facts, guys. And if you understand what you hold, all he's talking about is the possibilities. Well, what if he is actually 10% right on his low on the low end of what his analysis is there, right? That's $700. That's a $700 XRP. Could you live with that? All I'm saying, guys, is wake up and understand what you hold. That's all I'm saying. Edo, take it away. Your thoughts.
I was actually featuring some comments, James. So first, I want to thank everyone who has been watching the show. We have now around 2,200 people watching and still going up. So we're likely to reach actually more than 3,000 people live.
It's a big topic. It's a big topic.
Yeah, I think people are enjoying the conversation. So we can actually interact a bit with the audience. So whoever has comments, I'm going to be featuring some of the top comments here on the screen. So thank you for that. I don't know how to pronounce his name, but this comment comes from X. So price end of 2024. Well, that's a tricky question. You know, I don't like to make price predictions for a timeline, you know.
Right.
If you guys have been following my X account, you know that I have made some bearish predictions for the short term. Let's not mistaken for the long term. I am extremely bullish for the long term, but on the short term, I already pointed out there is some problems with the volume. If we compare the bull run now, especially Bitcoin is still the king. We can't argue that Bitcoin is still leading the run, and most of coins are still following Bitcoin. Now, if we look for Bitcoin, it actually has very low volume compared to 2021 when it made the previous all-time high. So that for me is a major bearish indicator. So I do believe we're gonna have one perhaps last opportunity to buy XRP at cheap prices. So I do expect a retracement, and I think that's great news if people are actually waiting for a pullback. Now I can't guarantee that's gonna happen, but my prediction for, as he says here, end of 2024, I'm not very optimistic, but I'm very optimistic from the second half of 2025, if that somehow answers his question. No, so I do believe we're going to have, in short summary, I expect some pullback before. So in this case, if you're looking at an entry point, you want to have your buy orders already ready on the exchanges. We don't know how long it's going to take, how long the dip is going to last. So it's always good to have your buy orders on the exchanges, you know. I'm looking for some comments here.
I think let me say something in regards to that as well. I think when you're trying to figure out the potential by 2024, let me give you just an analogy, and it might actually be a depends on how you look at it. Maybe it's a warped analogy. Maybe there's some truth behind it. Let's say I'm a young 6/8 Jay. I have the skill sets of LeBron James, everyone knows, like when LeBron was in 11th grade, they were calling him the chosen one, right? So let's say I'm a young 6-8Jay. I'm scoring 70 points a game in high school. Everyone thinks I'm going to be the greatest thing of all time. Now, there's other people playing the game, but not quite like me, right? I'm different, right? I'm built different, and there's so much expectation. So what's the prediction for 6-8Jay next year in college? Well, what happens if my parents are Gary Gensler and Elizabeth Warren? And all of a sudden they start beating me, and they start neglecting me, and they start mistreating me, and they got hidden agendas out of jealousy. What's my potential then? Do I make it to college? Do I make it? What do I have to get through to get? I've got to go through some things. I might have to hire a lawyer. I might have to. And so during the time that I'm dealing with that, I can't practice as hard. I can't do this as hard. I'm still playing games. I've still got all these major connections. I've got agents that are pushing me out there to colleges. I might even go straight to the NBA, but you'll never know my potential until I get rid of those abusive parents, right? So once the judge deems that and so the analogy with that is the abusive parents here in the United States is Gary Gensler and Elizabeth Warren. And until we get past that, it's hard to say the potential what XRP can do, right? You've got people out there like Jimmy Valley and Molly Elmore who've made some incredible valuations. You got people like Shannon Thorpe who gave her opinion on what she thought. But why is all those things become invalid? Not because those people are wrong. Oh no, because we're in a system ran by gangsters, mobsters, right? And so you got to look at all those things in its entirety. So how do you predict something when you're playing on? It's like being a basketball player on a team and your coach is throwing the game, right? I mean, it's like how do you win? So for right now, I just think understanding what the potential is, understanding what it was created for, understanding what it will do long term, and so between now and then, I think to say where do we go at 2024? Well, it depends on what kind of clarity we get. It depends on how quickly this corrupted game of chess that they've been playing. And I always go back to that analogy of the 1980s, Olympics when Tanya Harding hired a mugger to walk down the alley and hit that poor girl in the ankle, Nancy Kerrigan, so she couldn't skate, so that Tanya could skate. Until we get past those type of conspiracies and corruption, we'll never know what the potential with XRP. Now, if you ask me where I think XRP should be at right now, I think XRP should be every bit of at least $5. I think in 2021 it should have hit 10, right? But predicated off of the corruption and the things that we're dealing right here, right in the United States, unfortunately, and yes, it affects the rest of the world. When you've got the mob out here trying to, throw a $2 billion valuation, then yeah, until that comes to a close, we'll never know the potential where it could possibly be by 24. Now, the other thing that I want to address too, Edo, and I know you're going through comments, and that's fine. I also want to talk about why. And we don't have to do it now, but why? Why call Ethereum a security now, Edo? Why now? When they sat all the time, all those times that Gary Gensler sat in front of congressional hearings and just played, Gary, is Ether a security? That kind of crap. Why now? Why do you want to answer the question? Why are they a security? Is it because you're trying to give the American people justice? You're trying to treat XRP fairly or by going after Ethereum? Or is there an agenda behind that too? Because see, if there's nothing else that I've learned about the SEC, everything they do is a strategic move. It is a part of their overall corrupted game. So when I saw Brad Garlinghouse make a comment, he goes, he doesn't think that the SEC will be victorious against Ethereum either. I started looking at certain things. Okay, is that because of statute of limitations? Is that because they did have an ICO? They do have a guy called Steven Nerov who has all this information, videos, documentation, whatever you want to call it. John Deaton did validate that he has all the information. So ETHGate is real. But then again, I have to go back and look at FTX. The guy got 25 years in prison. I think that's too little for what he did. I saw, I think it was Metal Law Man or whatever, said that there's been people who have contacted him talking about suicide and other things because they lost everything with FTX. And so we would like to know where that stolen money went. But the one thing that we want to know, which is what politicians got paid from that stolen money, you throw that out of court. So if you could do that and you make the American people, who I'll call us slaves, not a race, but all people, we're slaves to a system that dictates everything to us. We pay taxes, but we have no rights. Because if we had rights, we would have justice of where that money went. So at the end of the day, what's really going to happen with ETH? Is this about justice, or is this about somebody from up above say, you know what, guys, go ahead and call it a security? make everybody happy so we can get past all this crap. It's not going to be a security, so we can get to Ethereum ETFs. Come on, guys, we got to get past this, right? I mean, what's the real narrative, Edo? I'm just saying, talk to me.
Yeah, and as you said, the system is designed to enslave the citizens, and we just see the world economical situation, the financial situation now is not the greatest. You know, we have credit card delinquencies at an all-time high, people not able to pay their debts. So I think it's very contradictory that we experience such a bull run right now. I have a feeling that this is being somehow artificially pumped, and I cover a lot on my Twitter account. I did technical analysis, having in consideration the all-time high of 2021 compared to now, how there is less people on the market, there is less volume, but we have, on the other hand, the ETFs narrative, but there is a lot of outflows of Bitcoin ETFs right now. So it seems to me that these people are actually trying to cash out. And I just saw a report this morning, you will find on my X account, where JP Morgan, someone inside JP Morgan was actually advising the clients that there might be a flash crash on the market. So we have to be prepared for adversities. And someone was asking before of price prediction for XRP. That's why I don't like to make price predictions on the short term, because I do believe they're going to try to shake out as many people as possible from digital assets. Not only that, but they are squeezing the population so that people have less and less money. And I got DMs on a daily basis. People are actually telling me, you know, I don't want to sell my XRP, but because I don't have more money, I actually have to sell it. Some people to pay their groceries, to pay their bills. I think that's a very sad situation. So we have this discrepancy right now where the economical situation is terrible. And that's not only the United States, that goes extending all throughout Europe. And they need false flags. They need black swan events, because the final and the end game is CBDCs. Right. Now, you might ask myself, are you actually against CBDCs? Absolutely, yes. It's an authoritarian form of control. But in the same way, technology is neutral. So you might ask myself, but why are you investing in XRP? Well, I prefer to be an early investor than a late adopter of a technology. So if I have actually the position right now where you can somehow become your own banking system, how crazy is that? I can send money to James right now on the other side of the planet, 100,000 euros. I can send him $1 million. I can send him $10 million. And I can use the XRP ledger to do that in 3 seconds. Actually, the average transaction time takes 3 seconds, less than 10 XRP drops, which translates to under a penny. So in this moment, and I want to pass this message to everyone who is actually watching us, no matter how bad is the economical situation in your country, once you have access to a smartphone, you have an XRP wallet, let's say a Zoom wallet or any form of storage where your XRP is on the ledger, you become a world citizen. And that opens doors for you, that you just break the geographical barriers where you have to actually work for a company, work for a boss, and you can just become a world citizen. I think we have a great opportunity right now. How do you see that, James?
No, I agree with you. I think it's a life-changing opportunity. I think the problem is not Ripple. The problem is not XRP. It never was. Let the same thing happen to Ethereum in its beginning stages. Let the same thing happen to Bitcoin or Solana or any other or Dogecoin. You know, it's a very unfortunate situation that reminds us that we are slaves here in the United States, and that we're being ran by a government that wants to keep us in the matrix. We're ran by a government that want to create problems and then offer the solution, and that's the system in which they like control. They're not about freedom. They're not about, you know, and I say it all the time, guys. What does crypto represent? You know, it's one of the fairest forms of capitalism you can ever see, because it's not predicated off of being 6'8" like me, or having you know, maybe a keen mind like Edo, or being able to throw a football like Joe Montana, be able to sing like you know Elvis Presley. You know, it's not having some life altering skill set. It's just being at the right place at the right time, doing your own research, finding out the best projects possible. What it's a reflection of is an opportunity to dream again. And can you imagine, Edo, if you've got a world full of people that are dreaming again all at the same time? What does that mean? Less control, less dictation, a lot of freedom. That's scary to a government because, see, people who own slaves, they don't want that type of freedom. And we're not talking about a race. We're talking about as people. That's the problem that we have. So they know that's going to happen. And at the end of the day, if it's going to happen, let's make sure we get a pretty good payday out of it. So therefore the mob, therefore the American gangster. So that's just my Harding and Kerrigan were 94 Winter Olympics. Okay, 94. Thank you so much, Frozen 06. I knew it was somewhere. You get to a certain age when you just start doing it. It was 80s, 90s, whatever. But thank you, brother. I appreciate it. But the story's the same. The corruptive story. But thank you, my brother. So I make sure I know it's in the 90s now. I appreciate you in a major way. So, but yeah, and it's amazing that people are paying attention. So the fact I'm saying I think it's the greatest opportunity of a lifetime. There's a lot of opportunities. It's not just XRP. We're not here to say, oh, it's only XRP. No, that's not what I'm saying. I mean, good Lord, look at Doge, right? Look at Doge. I mean, it was a joke until it wasn't. And but you can't even compare it to XRP because the only thing that makes it really validated is you got one of the most popular billionaires on planet Earth, if not the most popular billionaire besides him and the guy from Amazon, Jeff Bezos. But you got him on Saturday Night Live. He gets an hour and he wants to talk about Doge. Okay, and then every time there's something good he's doing with his company, he wants to talk about Doge. So, I mean, other than that, imagine if you talked about XRP or XLM or XDC or anything else, HBAR, Algo, or any of these other amazing utility coins. So the point I'm trying to make, guys, is that just know what you hold. This is an opportunity where you have the ability to create the greatest story for generations to come in your family, or you'll be telling the biggest, regret of all time. And that'll go throughout here. Oh, well, grandpa had opportunity when that stuff was going on with crypto anyways. So or grandma, should I say. So by the way, guys, I want to let you guys, I know Edo's going to go through some more comments here in the make sure you guys tune in tomorrow as I have Dave XRP Lion on the show. He's a Nobel Peace Prize winner. And he's considered by some a brilliant mind when it comes to the valuation of XRP. He's really immersed himself. He's a he's a mathematician, like a genius in mathematics. He also, from what Jimmy Valley told me, he was part of the evaluation that they gave when you saw the part where they said it could be up to $1 million. That was Dave XRP Line. So he'll be on tomorrow. We've got AJ, formerly with BitBoy Crypto, on Tuesday. We have Shannon Thorpe on Wednesday. I just got confirmation from Bearable Guy, and we've got so many other people that are waiting right now. Also, we had a phenomenal stream yesterday. We started this thing last Friday, Edo. It took a life of its own. I know because you've been there. You've been on the stream supporting us. I love you for that. I appreciate you. It's called Ladies Night, and the thought process behind that was creating a platform. And a lot of people said, well, James, wait a minute, you're a guy. Yeah, well, I'm the guy who came up with it, who appreciates what women do. I appreciate the fact that we wouldn't be out here. We wouldn't be here without them. I'm with my best friend, my dream, which is my wife. I've got 3 beautiful daughters out of our 6 kids that we have. And so I definitely appreciate, and they're all brilliant, very intelligent, very educated women, all getting their doctorate. And so I've learned, to appreciate that aspect of a woman as far as minds being bright, and also what they offer in crypto. And so often, more often than not, I see people that are very disrespectful to women, and that makes me sick. When Molly was on my show, there's people that even got in the comments saying, what gives you the right? What gives you the damn right? What gives anybody the right to say anything? And so at the end of the day is that form of equality, I don't think is always there in crypto. And so I wanted to create a platform called Ladies Night. We're going to do it every Friday, 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We have some of the most brilliant women on planet Earth on that show. We've already got Molly Elmore, who said she'll be on this Friday. So this Friday, it will be featuring Molly Elmore, Lady K, Optimistic Prime, Graham Glam, many others. I've got women now that are contacting me from all over the place, from Puerto Rico, from here, from there, saying, can I be on your show? So this thing has taken a life of its own, and I'm just really humbled to be able to offer that platform. And so one guy said, well, what are you doing on the show? I said, well, just consider me the bodyguard, the guy who won't tolerate nonsense in the space. So however you want to look at it, it's a great show. I'm super excited. They're very excited about it. And so make sure you guys tune in every single Friday. With that being said, Edo, let's get back into the stream, and maybe you want to answer some more questions. We're about an hour. We're just over an hour right now, 2,600 on our way to 2,700 live viewers. Thank you, guys. It means the world to myself and my little brother, Edo Farina. Edo, take it away.
Yeah, we actually have almost 3,000 people. So first and foremost, I want to thank every single one of you. Great comments. I love everyone who's commenting this show today. Very special for us. And well, we are over 1 hour. So I actually, for me, it's almost 9 p.m. So I have a meeting in like 30 minutes from now. So I have to start getting ready. So we might want to jump on the final thoughts, James. First, I think you have been doing an amazing job on bringing together the XRP community. Also, I want to congratulate you for the XRP Ladies Night. I think that's a genius concept. I think you're giving the opportunity for so many ladies to come together and share their ideas. Unfortunately, still, men are the majority in crypto, but I think that will change over time. I think we going towards a more equal space. If I look my analytics on YouTube, I still see that men are like 92% of people watching my channel, and I think we still have little women in crypto. And I think your initiative, it's a gateway for more ladies to actually join the crypto space. I think it's fundamental. I think that we're moving towards a transformation on the financial system, and I don't think women should miss on that. I think women should take an active role on being.
Well, I don't want to cut you off, Edo, but let me say this: like when you look at Fruition Productions, Molly and Chris's story, Chris and Molly's story, they became multimillionaires in crypto. When you and I'm waiting for them for me to be able to tell their story, but you know who actually found crypto in that equation? It was Molly, the wife. The wife found the opportunity. The husband didn't know anything about it. He thought it was kind of like weird. Oh, I don't know about that. And today they're multimillionaires. Today they made a fortune because his wife use her mind to recognize something phenomenal. So, this whole narrative that it's a guy-only deal, I think is just ridiculous. And that's why we're going to do what we can to have a platform to really show the brilliance of women in this space on every Friday night. So thank you so much for bringing that up, brother. I just want to point that one little fact out that women are extraordinary as well.
Yeah, so thank you, everyone. Any other final thoughts you want to share, James? I think we can just the final thoughts here.
Yeah, just tune in. We've got some great things going on. We've got some great interviews that we've done and that's coming up. Edo will be a part of some of those things. And I'm also really excited because we have a thing that we're talking about right now with Fruition Production, myself and my buddy. We're going to be talking about some things that will possibly lead into another business venture. So what I love about this opportunity is that it's given me the opportunity to meet some incredible people. Shouts out to the Crypto4Life family, all those that are there. Shouts out to people like Liz Herrera and many others who just some of our biggest supporters. Shouts out to Rob Cunningham and his incredible support and being on the show. Shouts out to DAI and Digital Perspectives for their ongoing support for the channel and recognizing what we're trying to do. I do what I do because I love people. I do what I do because I want to put out a message. I started this show. I've been in crypto since 2017. 4 years ago, it kind of put me and my wife in a very amazing position financially. And 13 months ago, after being in the shadows, I didn't want to be at the forefront. I just got sick and tired of seeing people not take accountability. People shilling coins, family members coming back to me saying, "Oh, well, I just invested, $2,000 in a Chicago coin." I'm like, "What? Where'd you hear that from?" "Oh, this influencer. You seem really smart." And I just got tired of that narrative. And so, after several people saying, understanding that I was a speaker and owned from playing pro ball to owning car lot cell phone stores, semi-pro basketball, and everything else, I was a speaker for 25 years. And I had a couple of friends say, "James, you need to get out there and just speak your truth and just do what you do, which is keep it 100 and be authentic in everything that you do." And it's funny because I didn't know a lot about YouTube, Edo. I didn't know a lot about Twitter, Edo. I joined it because it was the thing to do. And I still, one of the things that people tell me, well, you need to create short videos to get more eyes and everything. And I said, okay, eventually, and you've actually done that. You've taken some of our videos that have gone viral, and I still haven't done it yet because I'm not saying I'm not going to do it. I'm not saying I need to get a damn team is what I need because I'm busy with so many things that I'm doing. But I said, I'm just going to continuously be authentically me. And if it's meant to be, it'll happen. And all of a sudden, guess what? The eyes are on us. It's starting to happen. Never sacrifice integrity for growth is my deal. Always do your own research. And if you ever want the right answers to any questions that you have, go stand in front of the mirror. If you want to know why things aren't going right, if you want to know why everything's going right, if you want to know what it's going to take for you to win, the mirror will always give you the right answer. It's YOU. With that being said, guys, I appreciate you guys in a major way. Edo, anything else you want to add as far as value?
Yeah, so I have a comment from Rob here, which says, let's do a program with you, Edo, and Versan. So yeah, for me, it's confirmed. I'm going to text Versan, so I'm sure he was going to be happy to hear about that as well. so we can actually find a day that we are all available. So we're gonna let our audience know when that's gonna happen. And last thoughts, James, is like you always mention how it's called Shikaka coin. No, how is that?
It's a coin that I made it because I didn't want to offend any project. Some people call it. They use the word shit coins, and I thought that could be offensive, so I use Shikaka. And if you remember, Jim Carrey, it was a thing called Pet Detective. It was a movie called Pet Detective, and he said Shikaka. So I said, okay, why not call it Shikaka coin? It was just something stupid.
It's funny. You mentioned so many times. At some point, someone is going to launch on the XRP ledger Shikaka coin. Take over.
It's possible that they tend to do that. So yeah, unfortunately, I won't be buying any Shikaka.
If that's launched, guys, we don't trade a substantial portion of your XRP on Shikaka coin.
There you go. Yeah, just us saying it enough might actually make it go up in value. I don't know if it'll mean anything, but yeah, that's funny.
Yeah, thank you everyone. So just gonna tap here to end the stream, and yeah, we see you guys next time.
Guys, I appreciate you guys in a major way. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Actually, tomorrow's Sunday. I'll be going live again, which we typically do Sunday Fun Day on my Crypto4Life channel, and then Monday, Nobel Peace Prize winner, mathematical genius Dave XRP Lyons. Hope to see you guys there. Until next time, it's your boy James and my brother Edo Farina. Peace.
Dave, the XRP Lion has some great calculations on the XRP price. You guys want really to catch up on that interview with James? I'm gonna be watching that. I had him on the show with Versan. He's just a genius, no? So yeah, thank you everyone, and have a great weekend.